This is Economy Watch, what you need to know about New Zealand's economic life today. Brought to you by interest.co.nz.
Kia ora, and welcome to Monday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz. And today we lead with news expectations of flatter demand are hurting commodity prices. And that includes some key food prices, which is also impacted by healthy supply levels. But first, this coming week will bring more attention to inflation rates. We'll get monthly updates from the US, China and India. And we'll also get industrial production data from India. There'll also be sentiment data from the US and Australia. The ECB meets again this week, and the results will be released Friday morning. Most see a 25 basis point cut coming then to 4%. And locally, the focus will be on Wednesday's migration and tourism data. Over the weekend, the data showed the US economy created far fewer jobs in August than expected, adding 142,000 in August and below the market expectations of 160,000. July's increase was revised sharply lower. Most job gains occurred in construction and healthcare, while manufacturing employment declined. But their jobless rate edged lower to 4.2% in August from 4.3% in July. But we do need to note that the 142,000 rise is the seasonally adjusted number. The actual rise is 263,000 from July, which is pretty healthy, it must be said. From a year ago, payrolls are 2.3 million larger. The economic impact of 2.3 million more people employed is not insignificant, and that is after the March revision. Weekly earnings are up 3.5% from a year ago, hourly earnings up a bit more, and that was better than expected. The US job market is cooling, but not cracking. This fact will give the US Fed more room to manoeuvre at their meeting on September the 19th in 12 days' time. Separately, Canada said it added 22,000 jobs in August, a recovery from the small dip in July. Almost all the August increase was for women there. But their local and widely watched Ivy PMI fell sharply in August, down to its lowest level since December 2020. However, it wasn't matched by the internationally benchmarked S&P market version, which reported a stable situation. One of them isn't right. In China, the end is nigh for struggling developer China Vanke. They reported terrible July metrics, and their liquidity situation worsened notably. Not helping them, China's regional banks are moving faster to quit non-performing real estate loans. That is leaving the majors holding the bag as the government urges them to lend more to support a weak housing market. It is hard to see how the management of their real estate crisis won't end very badly. China's neighbours are increasingly concerned. And Germany reported a very tough situation for industrial production in July, down 5.3% from the same month a year ago and worse than the June result. But at least exports are limiting the downside. These were up 1.7% from June, and that was a gain that was better than expected and one that clawed back some of its year-on-year dip. In Australia, home loan activity for owner-occupiers picked up in July, adding almost $19 billion in the month, and the most in 2 years. For investors, the rise was almost $12 billion, which was an even faster rate of increase and the most since January 2022. But prices for iron ore, nickel, cobalt and lithium are all falling, and all at or near 5-year lows. And world food prices actually dipped in July with declines in cereal and meat prices in the month, but dairy prices rose. Overall prices remain near their lowest in 3 years. Good agricultural conditions have persisted for some time now, boosting output. Updated forecasts for global cereal production point to a weather-driven drop in coarse grains, offset by expected increases for wheat and rice. So far, there is no indication yet that the world can't feed itself, and more than adequately, despite some high-profile pressures. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now just on 3.72% and unchanged from Saturday, and the price of gold will start today up $4 from Saturday at $2,497 an ounce. And oil prices are 50 US cents lower at just on $67.50 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is now just on $71 a barrel. Both are $6 a barrel lower in a week, or 7.5%. And the Kiwi dollar starts today at 61.7 US cents and unchanged from Saturday. but that's 0.75% lower in a week. Against the Aussie, we're 10 basis points firmer at 92.6 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're also unchanged at 55.7 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at 69.7, unchanged from Saturday, but down 75 basis points in a week. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $54,341 and up 1.5% from Saturday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been low, though, at just under plus or minus 1%. You can find links to the articles mentioned today in our show notes, and you can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.